Wow. AMC stock. This is one of the most amazing things I have ever seen as an investor. I honestly think we're living history right now. Like what is happening right now with AMC stock will be written about. There will be articles referencing this for years and years and years to come. There's going to be documentaries about this. This is amazing. AMC literally just broke its own record today as we're speaking. As of right now, the recording of this, the last I checked, AMC stock is up 102% on the day. So I wanted to do this video to break down what exactly is going on if you haven't been following every single step of the way. So we're going to talk about what's happening, why the price is surging, some interesting stories going on here, and what could potentially happen. And maybe if you've been sorry, I'm getting excited. Maybe if you've been following every single step of the way, this will just be a reminder as to what exactly is going on. So let's pop down to AMC stock right now. Oh, so I can see that it's up 93% for the day right now. It just had a slight little downtick, but still up 93%. It was just up. Now it's at 95, almost 95%. As we're talking, it was just at 102%. But this thing is surging. So let's go to the 1 month view. We can see that this thing is absolutely popping off. So let's talk about why this is happening. I have 4 major reasons why this is happening that I wanted to detail. So first off, I honestly think this is the biggest reason, and that is the apes. You, the individuals, the retail investors, the little guys. You are the reason, the number one reason why this is happening. Believe it or not, you are the number one reason. And this is like a true David versus Goliath tale where it's, the dumb money, the retail investors, name your derogatory term for those people who just, we don't have as much access to the data as the big guys do. This is a true David versus Goliath story of us versus the big, 0.0001 percenters, the big smart money, if you will. And it's a tale that I think literally anyone can get behind because everyone has had a feeling of, feeling small, feeling like the little guy, feeling like you're out of the know. And it's just, you see something like this happen and you're just like, wow. And I really got to hand it to the apes in general for staying strong here because not only has there been a surge in the past, up to around $20 with AMC stock, but then it went all the way down to around $4. But now it has surged again. The level, how hard it is to make something like this happen twice is insane to me. It is absolutely insane that something like this could happen twice, and I really have to just hand it to the apes. And also I have to give a special shout out to my good friends Trey's Trades and Matt Kors because they've been talking about this every single day, and it's really, really coming to fruition. Now, if you want more information on all that's going on here, they do live streams every day. They do videos every day on what's going on. All of their channels linked below because they are geniuses when it comes to this particular topic, and they know a whole lot more than I do about this situation. So I just really have to hand it to them to help, kind of rally the troops, but it's really the troops who have done this. So that's the biggest reason. That's number 1. Number 2 is a potential short squeeze. Now, S3 Partners just recently reported a short volume of about 20% of the total float, which means about 20% of the shares that are available to be traded are being shorted right now. 1 out of 5 shares are being shorted. Now, that isn't the highest we've ever seen. With Gamestop, that was around 140%. However, there are many talks about synthetic shorts and the potential for those numbers being wrong. It's really hard to figure out exact short numbers, even for someone like S3 Partners. I actually have an interview with the head of data analytics at S3 Partners on my channel. I'll link that above, and you can learn a little bit more about shorting. But it's very hard to get accurate information here, and it does need to be taken with at least somewhat of a grain of salt, but as of right now, they're reporting 20% of the float. That isn't the highest we've ever seen, but that is it's a potential short squeeze in the making because it is high. It's just not the highest ever. And I have a theory that that's actually going to get higher, which we're going to discuss a little bit later on in this video. Also, while we're at it, I do need to announce that I opened 10 more spots on the Patreon. So if you want a spot, I received like 5 messages this morning from people saying, hey, you're gonna open some more spots. I opened some more. There's buy alerts, there's private videos, there's early access to videos, all my research notes, all that is on the Patreon. That is linked down below. You'll just want to grab a spot as soon as possible because there's only 10 additional openings. The third reason is a potential gamma squeeze. Now, this one's a little bit more complicated than a short squeeze, but a gamma squeeze, this can happen when there's a massive amount of buying activity in short-dated call options for a particular stock. And this is more common, and it seems to be a little bit easier to happen than a true short squeeze, but it's more complicated. It's harder to explain. So this can create this like upwards launching pad where call buying triggers higher stock prices, which results in more call buying, which is someone basically placing a bet that the stock is going to go higher in the most simple terms. That call options can, that's an entire video series on itself. So people buy short dated calls betting that the stock is going to jump up. Stock jumps up, this results in more buying, which jumps up the stock even more. It's kind of like when you're playing Mario Kart, and this might be the worst or the best analogy ever. It's like when you're playing Mario Kart and you're driving and then you hit one of those ramps with like the speed boosters on it, and you're driving, all of a sudden you're like, that's kind of like what a gamma squeeze is. So we have a potential gamma squeeze in the making. And then fourth, we have a very, very strong Memorial Day weekend for movie theater tickets. So AMC is a movie theater, and if they are doing well, this just makes everything else a little bit better. So movie tickets are finally doing better. I know I went and saw a movie just the other day. You probably saw one recently as well. So movie tickets are up. We got the apes. We have the gamma squeeze, the potential for a gamma squeeze. We have the potential for a short squeeze. And something that's interesting here is AMC is reportedly going all in and betting that retail investors are going to stick with them for the long term and bet on the long-term outlook. So what they've reportedly said that they're going to do is, instead of playing it safe and paying down their debt and things like that, they are doubling down on future investments. They're using this opportunity as a launching pad. And I think this is at least part and due to the investors really believing in the company and believing that it's going to just get bigger and bigger. So they're it seems like AMC does a really good job of reaching out to the retail investors and understanding what they want and following through with it. So it's really it's an amazing, it's not even just interesting, it's an amazing thing that is happening right now. There's now also an interesting story that I wanted to highlight real quick, and that is Murdoch Capital, who is a fund that bought 8 million shares of AMC last Tuesday. They spent $230.5 million in investments before the opening bell on Tuesday. And on that news, their share price jumped up 22%. But what was strange is they basically flipped the stock and sold it pretty quick after buying, because they purchased those 8.5 million shares at $27.12 a piece. So it was already surging and doing pretty well. And they had made an investment before in December, so they were just adding to their investment. But then according to Bloomberg, they ended up selling and kind of flipping the stock for a profit. Now, what was interesting is this really didn't seem to affect the stock. I mean, we can definitely tell it hasn't affected the stock because now it's up 100% just today. But I wanted to highlight here, I wanted just to do some math. Now, for whatever reason, the screen record doesn't capture my calculator, so I'm just going to tell you what the math is. So they profited a good amount, tens of millions of dollars in a very short period of time. But let's just figure out how much they would have made if they were still holding to today. So the stock price right now is about $62. They bought in at $27.12, so 8.5 million shares times $27.12 is $230.5 million. Now, at $62 a share times 8.5 million shares, that is $527 million. So we take that minus their $230,500,000. They would have more than doubled their investment. They would have profited $296 million if they held for another week. That is how insane this surge has been. You know they're kicking themselves right now. $296 million. That is so crazy. So now from here, let's talk about where the stock can go from here. And I think that this is really interesting because I believe the hardest part is over, which is building up that momentum again. You know, like I said, the stock price went up to about $20 and then went all the way down to like $4 and then slowly, begrudgingly worked its way up. And I think that's the hardest part, kind of getting that rally again, getting those people who felt hurt, who felt down, seeing the share price drop. I think that's the hardest part. And then it really just makes you think like the sky is kind of the limit. Now, there are theories all over the place as to what the price could go to. I don't even want to guess what the price could go to because we're already in amazing territory as is. But there is something interesting that I want to point out as far as short squeezes go. So the higher the price goes, right now we're floating around 62, in the mid 60s. The higher the share price goes, the more likely the odds of a true stock squeeze. And this is for two major reasons. First off, because shorts are losing more money, at least on paper, the higher the stock price goes. With a short, theoretically, you can lose an infinite amount of money if the stock price just goes to, an infinite number. So what happens if you short a stock at $10 and it goes up to $50, you owe $40, even though, the stock was only $10 per share when you bought it in. So the higher the stock price goes, the more they have losses. Now, some shorts will cover their losses. Others will lend money to try and just ride it out and see what happens. We saw both happen with GameStop. But as the share price goes higher, another interesting thing happens. More shorts jump in because they feel like, oh, well, this thing is already up 100%. It can't go up another 100%. So more shorts add it. So if we're at around 20% short to float right now, which was reported by S3 Partners, that could theoretically jump up dramatically if the share price of AMC keeps going up, because you can bet more shorts will hop on because they feel like, okay, the game's over, it's going to go down. And then as more shorts hop on, that means that short ratio, the number of shorts to total available shares, keeps increasing, which increases the odds of a short squeeze. So it's really interesting. It's actually the higher the price, the more the odds of a short squeeze. And then if a true squeeze happens, that's when you see the price just balloon up in a very, very quick period of time. So this is a fascinating story. Absolutely fascinating. I'm just so, it just makes me happy to see, like I mentioned earlier, it's just awesome to see the little guy winning. It's just awesome to see it. So I wanted to just do a quick summary of what exactly is going on. I'd like to thank you for watching. Subscribe if you enjoy this content. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who have already subscribed. And thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.